Spain, understandably, retained the side which did so well against Bulgaria in their quarter-final. They've got better and better throughout the competition after only drawing 0-0 in their opening match against Saudi Arabia. One player who's caught my eye, the number 9, Gué, who plays for the Real Madrid junior club Castilla. As for the Soviet Union, from the side which beat China in their quarter-final, they bring back Gorilyi into the defence in place of Ketashvili. Bubliauskas is dropped, and Ivanauskas, a scorer. So the World Youth Championship finally arrives in the capital of the Soviet Union, and Kushlev arrives in the Spain penalty area, and he struck the underside of the bar straight from the kickoff. And that is quite extraordinary, because Oleg Kushlev was the player who scored the only goal, who very nearly got off to the sharpest flyer, really, of all time in this sort of competition. And they're trying to push out now. Ivanauskas heads over. Valdas Ivanauskas swung away from the goal by the right back Pardo, but not very well. But here's Gué and Fernando. Sat up rather invitingly for Spain, signed for Osasuna. From the Soviet players, Ivanauskas has really taken up a beat wide on their right-hand side. He can go infield here and fall in a collision with Gué that has the crowd whistling for a penalty, but the referee didn't reach for his whistle. Certainly worth a second look. Gué, the number 9, and there was some contact, but I think Ivanauskas had given the ball. And it's clearly going to be a test for the Soviet Union to probe away. Perhaps not be too impatient. Thu gets a fist to it by Goycochea. Spain can regroup again. This is developing into the pattern. Chedia's long pass. And Ivanauskas was caught a boot in the face by Ferreira. And the yellow card here will mean suspension from the final. If Spain get there, he'll certainly miss the next game, because they will play in the 3rd and 4th playoff if they're beaten in this one. It's a free kick quickly taken by Hudojilov. Here he is again. Strapping round the left knee. Nicely played by Medved. Now, what's the referee going to do this time? It is a penalty. Tripped by Pardo. Penalty for the Soviet Union. And this is how it happened. Medved with one of those sharp turns of his, and the referee absolutely right. Pardo certainly played the man. Medved staying off the pitch as Hudojilov has the opportunity here to put the Soviet Union one step towards a place in the final. They lead 1-0. 7 minutes before half-time. And Hudojilov, quite a nerve-wracking moment for a young player, this. So much resting on it, and it was above the goalkeeper's dive. Although Thu committed himself the right way. Still in need of treatment. Papachuk. That's obstruction by Mendiondo. Have their full complement. And Moch, who's actually cracked away at goal a couple of times in earlier matches from Spain. Will clearly have to show a little bit more attacking ambition in the second half, and it's only the in the right place, even Auskas. Soviet Union about to get the second half underway, leading by 1-0. Perhaps hoping that they might have a little bit more room in which to manoeuvre in the second half, because Spain clearly had to be more ambitious. They have to take a chance or two. That will surely win minutes. No substitutions at the interval. Keeper's lost it. Hudожилова, and off the line by Tirado. It looked such an innocuous moment, and suddenly it could have been a catastrophe for Spain. Really of the goalkeeper's making. They'll have a free kick now, foul by Mohon Goikochea. But at the other end, Unthu's heart must be beating a little faster. Hudожилова just played it in, and the distraction was from Tartachuk. The goalkeeper took his eye off the ball. Hudожилова followed it in, and here's Fernando. Spain have passed the ball well in their previous games. They're neat and play a close game. Here's Pardo. Advantage played by the referee. And Losada. Within the goalkeeper's reach, they wanted offside. And Spain, though, will draw a little bit more comfort from this. They've not opened the Russian defenders up very often. Sada, it was an awkward one for him, came on the bounce. Rolandas Bubliauskas doing up the tie-ups and getting ready to come on. Tartachuk tangling with Liefderalda. Decision quite appreciated by the Soviet coaching team, who want to get Bubliauskas on. 22 minutes left. And Khrushchev, as we looked at the substitute, suddenly tempers flaring up on the field. Fernando is down. This is what happened. Chased by Tartachuk, and then all sorts of bad temper boiled over. Real skirmish. Yellow card produced. Now, it could be more serious. It's a yellow card for Medved. I think Tartachuk in trouble as well. It was his sliding challenge. Substitution still hasn't taken place. I was about to say that Khrushchev is the player they want off. Obviously not quite 100% fit. And fresh legs required from Rolandas Bubliauskas.
Номер 13 играет Роландас Бублаускас. Номер 15.
We could give him the benefit of the doubt and say, although it was a reckless challenge, that the motive was a laudable one to try and win the ball back for his side. The semi-final, which was expected really to suit the Soviet Union. Pardo's cross. Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it! A goal for Spain from Losada, and an absolute gift. And greeted by whistling and derision for that mistake there by Igor Kutupov. And Losada could hardly believe his luck. And Spain could hardly believe their luck. But they're level. Away by Literalda. Extra time, of course, if it stays that way. Poor Igor Kutupov, the hero of the quarter-final, with a last-minute save of real agility, is suddenly the villain of the piece, and Unthu showing again on the Spanish bench. They sense an opportunity. Kochea, well struck. Kutupov, the equal to it. Check nicely onto the left foot. Plenty of power in the shot, plenty of direction too. Trying to change the pattern, trying to prevent the game going. The Soviet Union pegged back through an individual error, desperate here to reclaim their lead. And Unthu in trouble. It came off the bar before Budliauskas could turn it in. The shot goes wide from Gorilyi. But Unthu looks skyward. But the gods were on his side then. Really, he should have just knocked it over the bar for the corner. But he knocked it onto the bar. Then flapped at it and again. And Budliauskas moving in for the kill. The semi-final of the World Youth Championship for the FIFA Coca-Cola Cup, and we've gone into extra time here in the Lenin Stadium. Spain won, the Soviet Union won, and the referee has noted that way we will have the drama of a penalty shootout. Unthu. Spain's goal scorer, Losada. Here's Tarachuk. And it's flicked on by Budliauskas, even Auskas arriving with Savchenko as well. Very much the underdogs. The sense of competition spilling over again. Another yellow card. Hudojilov for a high tackle. So he has experienced the ups and downs in the court. Very important for the two captains, Chedia and Fernando. Budliauskas shrugging off Mendiondo, looking to take on Ferreira. Help from Ivanauskas. Savchenko, Budliauskas on the burst, poured away by Unthu, good save. The goalkeeper came up with the right answer that time, as Budliauskas was pouring away through. And all the Soviet Union get is a corner. Budliauskas again. And then Moch. And there indeed is the half-time whistle. And that save from Unthu, the significant moment in the first period of extra time. State that it should be straight round in the middle of extra time. In practice, that rarely happens, the law, in this occasion. So we're ready for the last 15 minutes. And if the score stays the same, it will then be penalties. Hudojilov. His own penalty. Must seem a long time ago now. It's possible, of course, he'll be asked to do it again. And Medved, a real chance for the Soviet Union, and Medved hasn't been able to take it. And the referee intervenes. Spain have got enough problems at the moment. Savchenko has got his eyes set on the goal. Spain couldn't do anything to prevent the shot. But Umthu was left exposed a moment or two earlier. And Medved will look back on this with some regret. The first touch there wasn't really clean, but even then he slipped at the vital moment, and Tirado got back and got in the way. Deep cross too, but even Auskas, and he scored! The Soviet Union have gone into the lead. Two minutes into the second period of extra time, and Medved, this time, joy for him because it was his deep cross. Even Auskas, perhaps just looking to get it back across the face of the goal. But it was back across the goalkeeper and inside the post. Lubniauskas was going in case the ball was knocked back towards him. That may have been in even Auskas's mind, but it matters not because the Soviet Union are in front again. And they now need only to settle things down and... to him than he imagined. He came out as though he was going to catch it. Suddenly, it went one-handed, a fist away. Pardo settles for the throw. Geng did well. And Francis! It was almost as if they were trying to walk it in, and it never quite fell right for either player. Geng did so well to pick a route to the byline for the cross. Down from Francis, back from Fernando, and then Francis against him. And Spain denied again. Fernando coming in beyond the far post. Kutapov made sure there was no space. Fernando from a very tight angle. Hudojilova. And the crowd urging the Soviet Union to continue to attack. A third goal, of course, would make it absolutely safe. Chair got bang in the back. Medved, it's hard to assess the damage to him. And Ferreira saying, just get off the pitch and let us try and get this equaliser. Players down, and fists and arms raised, and the referee needs to stand firm now. This could have an unsavoury ending. The referee turns, another bout of fighting is breaking out, and it will be hard to apportion blame. Medved, Spain, 2-1, and a place in the final of the World Youth Championship is there for the taking. They're forward in numbers again, and the goalkeeper had to play safe. Kutapov did exactly the right thing. No time for heroics or misjudgment. And he sensibly distracted by Francis coming in. Goicoechea to take the corner. Blocked by Medved. The whistle has gone. Goicoechea thinks it's handball by Medved. The linesman tells him he's wrong, and it's a corner to be taken again. Medved wasn't back the full distance. Pushing. Well, goalkeepers do, of course, mature much later in life than outfield players, and it's quite understandable that these two young keepers here should have moments that betray their lack of experience. But it was a foul by Losada jumping. We're into the time that the referee wants to add on for stoppages. Spain 2-1 down, and still battling to stay alive. Here's Gay, and it's Goicoechea. He scored in stoppage time at the end of extra time. Incredible. Spaniards going crazy with delight. I'm sure it was an attempt at a shot from Gay, and it was a perfect pass for Goicoechea. But how about this for a composed piece of finishing at the end of 2 hours of pulsating football? And it's penalties. The final whistle has gone. No time to restart. The last kick of the semi-final, and Goicoechea has pulled Spain back from the dead. And look again at this quite astonishing moment. First to go, Spain to take on Kutupov. And it's going to be Francis, a substitute who came on towards the end of normal time, with the crowd rather baying at him and trying to distract the young Spaniard. But he beats the distraction, and he beats the goalkeeper. 1-0 to Spain. 5 each, of course. And then it goes on into sudden death if the scores are still level then. And Spain have scored. Medved, it's saved by Umfu. Greeted by disbelief from the crowd, and Medved, who has had a night filled with drama so far. Well, the goalkeepers will always move in these penalty shootouts, but it wasn't a very good penalty in truth, and he knows it. But what a nerve-rending situation this is for any player, let alone the boys in the under-19 competition. And Tirado, and he's been thwarted by Kutupov. So each goalkeeper now has made a save, and suddenly for Medved, life becomes bearable again. But for Tirado, another moment of agony. Too close to the goalkeeper. It's still 1-0 in penalties after the 2-2 draw in the actual match. Hudojilov, who scored one penalty in the game itself and scores again, although Umfu was so close to keeping it out. Hudojilov, the same side as his success in the game. But it's 1-1 and still nothing between these two sides. So Pardo. And he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. A very good penalty indeed. Spain in front again. What a test of temperament.
There
will be those, believe it or not, who will relish this challenge, and Pardo looks like one of those. It was a very confident penalty indeed. So, Unthu in the firing line again, and it's Ivanauskas. And he sends Unthu the wrong way in turn. And it's all back level again. And we're still no nearer knowing who will play in the final of the World Youth Championship. But we will know in the next few minutes or so, that's for sure. Well, Ge has had a magnificent match. But that would count for naught if he was to miss now. That's the pressure on him. And it's under the goalkeeper. Kudapov, so close again to making the save. This angle should give us a better view of it. It just squirmed past him. Fortune favoured Gate then, but it's 3-2 to Spain. And the defender Mock has been called forward. Now, he's got quite a kick in his left foot. And it's cleverly done. So the Soviet Union have equalised once more. And Mock outwitting Unthu. To go for Spain, it rests on the captain's shoulders. Fernando. Waits for the signal from the referee, and into the top corner. No real chance for Kudapov then. And Spain have kept their composure. They've managed to stay ahead throughout this penalty shootout. Could hardly have been better placed from Fernando, way above the reach of Kudapov. And now, as Unthu goes through this ritual that he's adopted over the last 2 or 3 penalties of it initially turning to face the crowd through the net, it's Tatarchuk. He saved it! Spain are through! And Unthu is off on a run of triumph. The goalkeeper has put his country into the final of the World Youth Championship, and Tatarchuk has to live with the agony of knowing that his failure cost the Soviet Union. Well, your heart goes out to Vladimir Tatarchuk. It was surely not that final penalty miss